Hey, welcome to this edition of the Take Back Your Joy podcast. My name is Jonathan Moore. Thank you so much for joining us. This is somebody that I ran into not too long ago at my gym. If you watched last episode, Armando Chavez was on and they work together at the gym that I go to. No comments on about how I go to the gym or not. I know I'm not a beast, but just think of what I would look like if I didn't go to the gym. So just no comments on it all. So this young man, the moment that I saw him in the training in the gym, thought there's something exceptional about him. And then when we kind of got to know each other and I researched his background, an exceptional young man for certain. So I want you to help me welcome to the studio, Andy Burrell. What's going on, man?
Thanks, brother. It's glad to be here, man. I really appreciate the opportunity. I love talking and, doing, podcasts and radio and broadcasting. And it's just really cool, moving back to Fort Worth for the first time since 2009. That's when I graduated from TCU. It's pretty sick to be back, honestly. Came back for my parents and my lady and, opportunity to change lives, honestly. So it's pretty rad.
If somebody doesn't know who Andy Burrell is, who is he? Tell us who he is. And we're going to get to a bunch of this stuff.
Complicated, brother.
That's why I asked.
No, I mean, yeah. So I grew up in Fort Worth, right off Forest Park. Used to, play home run derby off Forest Park on Glencoe Terrace and listen to the monkeys scream from the zoo and the lions roar and play catch with my dad. He used to tell us like incredible stories. He made up I can't remember, was it the Barts? Yeah. And he made up this like family and he would just like tell us stories every night on the steps. So my grandmother and grandfather on my mom's side lived 2 blocks back on Hawthorne. So, we would run over there and get sodas and, chug them and then boom, back on the bikes. It was the 90s, dude. I was born in 86. So just an incredible. I went to Lily B. Clayton. So it's just an exceptional school and just a beautiful old school elementary, right? And so I had an incredible childhood. I guess if you wanted to put a bow on it, though, right? Like, there's a lot that goes into me. I'm a Gemini. There's no doubt about it.
Gemini too.
Are you really?
Yes, sir.
That's right, baby. Yes, we're special.
That's what I keep telling myself.
I work at a higher frequency, baby. Yes. So, yeah, man. I mean, but I guess long story short is I was blessed to have an incredible father and mother, and I had incredible grandparents, and oh man, I look back at it now, I'm like, gosh,
are they still around, Andy?
No, wow. They're all gone. Yeah, so I'm 40 now, but I still cherish every moment that I had with them. I mean, my grandmother and grandfather had a cool back house. That's where, and they would always have Barks root beer. Welch's grape, and so all of the kids would come over there, and I'd be like, "All right, let's go." And we'd get in the back and go chug soda. They had every kind of soda, and then she had a greenhouse, which is where I have a green thumb, so and it's a trickle effect, and we can talk about that here in a little bit. But essentially, I was always around food and garden and everything. And, my dad's side of the family is from Memphis, which is really cool because I actually ended up getting a job in Memphis on television and covered the Grizzlies and SEC sports and all kinds of cool stuff. And my dad, his dad, Pop, was there, and I got to spend the last years of his life with him. Wow. I would sneak him out of the funeral home, shit. But, I would sneak him out of the...
You get in trouble for taking them out of the funeral.
Yeah, I know, yeah. That'd be weird. Yeah, that would not be a good one. Whatever. He lived in, it was pretty much like a hotel, right? But
I would sneak him out.
I'd sneak him out to go get enchiladas because he loved his enchiladas with onions on top. So I would sneak Pop out, and I would get him every Thursday night. And then I would go over there, and everybody thought I was a Beatle. Like, you know what I mean? Like they would like come out because they would watch me, I guess, on TV, and they knew I was coming on Sunday night because I would always have dinner with them on Sunday night. And
what a great memory, Andy.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, that's something to be very grateful for. So it was really neat. So anyway, yeah, I mean, like family oriented. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a lover, not a fighter, you know, and,
one of the hallmarks of your just being around you is just joy.
Thank you.
Where does that come from?
I guess it's the upbringing, dude. You know, I guess it's just the way I was raised.
I mean, you can hear him in the gym. I mean, the music's so loud, but still, you can still hear Andy.
Oh yeah.
And if he comes across to you, it's
that's
like,
why my voice
up?
is always raspy now. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, like a lady came in. I teach, you know, a 5 a.m. class, and I'm like, y'all are psycho. I'm like, no, literally, like this is insane. Why are y'all here right now? But they show up time and time again, and they're strong women. And there's a couple of dudes that show up every once in a while, but they are strong. And I push them and I push them. And the other day, one of them said, "Who you been yelling at?" I was like, "Probably your son, because he's in my little, you know, he's one of the kids." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been yelling." Because those kids, you got to keep them going. They're like little sheep. And you're like, "Come on, let's go. Come on, get up, move, hit. You got to keep doing it. It's so funny. But that's another thing that's real cool. Like, I work with like such a diverse group of people. I mean, whether it's, you know, a 72-year-old, you know, war vet who was blown up by an IED in the Gulf War,
wow,
or you know, autistic people, or people on the, you know, we're all on the spectrum, honestly, but like very much on the spectrum where you have to engage, or if it's, you know, the 11-year-old, or if it's a Division I athlete. You know, which is my favorite, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I love them all. It's different.
You're the same intensity with all of them, by the way. So no matter what it is, which is amazing to watch. So
cool, thank you.
I'm just over there doing my own thing, and I'm getting encouraged by you. And they're like,
you're like, well, I better get going. Or
you don't even know I'm over here, but I'm doing it.
Andy's gonna come over here and get all over me if I don't crush it.
That's right.
Oh, it's funny, man. Yeah.
One of your hallmarks, or one of the things that your life has followed, is a passion for food. Where did that come from? And I know it's taken you some places, and it's still part of your life today.
100%.
Where did that come from?
So, I mean, it all starts with mom, right? Like, mom is the queen. She's the one that, you know, I was always in the kitchen with mom. Like, there's pictures of me in an apron where it says, "Here comes trouble." I'm like, yeah, baby, still today, let's go.
I was about to say it was a little prophetic there.
Yeah, 100%, dude. So, like, it started with mom, but really, like, when we used to drive up to Memphis, you know, we would drive through the night from Fort Worth, and, you know, we would get there at like 2, 3 a.m. And Mom Burrell, that's my father's grandmother, so it was my great-grandmother, wow. She would have date bread, little mini pizzas, all kinds of homemade dough and bread and food and like everything. And she had a huge garden. So there's actually pictures of me like picking, you know, the veggies. She would take my brother and I out there, and she would make it, you know, she'd make it, and then she'd take us inside and make us prep the food and everything. And then mom would keep us in the garden. My mom, like, pickles, she grows and pickles all her stuff. She's got cucumbers, and she makes all different types of pickles, and, you know, she grows eggplant and jalapenos and serranos and thyme and rosemary. So, like,
do you grow that? Like current
not
day?
Currently. I did in Austin.
Gotcha.
But, you know, I'm just moving back here, so it's been a little chaotic.
No doubt. And then some podcaster's trying to get you to be on his show while you're in the middle of all this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm here for it, dude.
You did it. You did it in spite of being busy.
It's just, you know, there's been a lot going on. And so I'm trying to kind of, you know, manage the ship. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, the love for food has always been there. Like, I used to, at TCU, if we'd get home late so we would fly in from, I don't know, San Diego or Stanford or BYU or whatever it was. We'd fly in and we'd get home at like 3 a.m. And, you know, the guys were like, oh, we don't want Whataburger or whatever. And I'm be like, let's go. And I'd take them to my crib and we would just like crush it. And I would just cook for everybody. And everybody would eat until like 7 a.m., crash at the house. And then, you know, then we'd go to practice the next day and watch film, you know? So it's always been something that I've loved and I enjoy doing. I told you, I'm a people pleaser. I love to treat others. I love to make people feel nourished and good and, you know, well fed.
I think that's a good part to do.
And there's something about it, dude, that's like, it's very creative, and I'm a very creative mind. I've always been that way. That's why I loved like creating stories on television and stuff like that, is because I love to create food. It's like art. I do art too. So it's like making food is art. I always tell people it's not that hard. It's really just like know like what you like and then experiment and have fun with it. And that's what I've always done. And it took me to some places. Yeah.
One of your passions is performance nutrition. Explain that to somebody, or how does that work into what you do as performance nutrition?
Yeah. So, I mean, it really depends on the individual. But I kind of like to take down the portion size. I think that Americans, or just individuals in general, overeat.
Yeah.
And I also use some things that have been good for me and have worked for me, like intermittent fasting. You know, I eat before 8 p.m. or, you know, right at it. And then I don't eat until like 2 or 3 p.m. Wow. So I only have like 2 meals a day. And yeah, I cook a lot. And dude, I treat myself. That's another thing. I don't want you to be on a diet, dude, right? I want you to like live your life, work hard, work out hard, right? Enjoy the gym, make sure you're feeding your body with nutrients, right? Make sure you're hydrating. But like, dude, I had pizza 2 nights ago. I had Pilates. I hadn't had Pilates since TCU in 2008 or something, right? So I was like, hey, babe, want to get Pilates? You know, I'm like, yeah. So we ordered Pilates, and I got cheesy bread, and I had a couple of pieces. But like because of the intermittent fasting, which is also really good for you, like it's been proven scientifically that if you actually like fast for like a 72-hour span, which is very difficult, and it's not for everybody, okay? But you could work up to that and challenge yourself and do it. But if you do that, then your white and blood cells, you can literally knock out cancer cells. Wow. You can clean out your body completely just from 72 hours of only drinking water. It's unbelievable. And it's literally the guy, he won a Pulitzer Prize or whatever. So like, it's proven, it's real. So I like to tell people to try to eat before 8 and then try to wait till at least noon and just drink a ton of water. I love the morning. First thing I do, I have a morning routine. My nighttime routine's kind of trash, I'm not gonna lie. Because I get home and I'm like, I'm dying. I'm tired. My feet hurt. But I do this. Okay, wait, 2 things. Okay, so first off, morning routine though. First thing I do, lukewarm water, Himalayan salt, squeeze of an entire lemon. Chug that. Speeds up the metabolism. It gets you full and it hydrates you throughout the day, okay? Second thing is, I don't know. So morning routine though, yeah, that's that. Nighttime routine. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So like almost scalding hot water. Okay. Like I put it on the stovetop and then I get a little bucket or whatever and apple cider vinegar, baking soda, Epsom
I saw
salt.
your video routine on this.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, man.
Dude, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lemon and ginger. And
you said your biggest pores are in your feet.
In the bottom of your feet.
No clue.
That's the biggest pores on your body. You'd think they're like, here, right? As much as they show. But yeah, they're in your feet. And so what it does is it not only does it bring the swelling down, but it also like detoxes your entire body. And then I love putting my feet up on the wall as I'm on my back. So all the blood circulation goes to my brain. And then I meditate and talk to God. And then I just in through the nose, out through the straw, and then just like get out of there, get out of here,
How long does that routine take you? Just if somebody was going to try all that, would it?
So it would take like 15 minutes, like 10 minutes maybe to set up the situation with the feet. And then I put it in there. I try to keep it in there until it doesn't feel like it's like hot anymore. So 20 minutes maybe. And then put the feet up and you'll pass out. Trust me. You'll pass out. You're talking to God and you're just like, and all of a sudden you're waking up with your feet against your like headboard and you're like, what the heck? Yeah. Like the next morning. Like it's pretty legit, man. Yeah. It works well for me, and some of these things that I try to coach or teach or, talk about, they're not for everybody.
They're worth a try though.
If you want to like change it up and make it different, then why not? Try. I always tell like my athletes, especially, I'm like, become obsessed with it. Like, become obsessed with mastering your craft. If we're not mastering our craft and we're working on it every single day, then you'll just get, you're not going to evolve. You're not going to be able to adapt, and especially those like guys that are such competitors, right? That have to compete with others and, working the elements, of like going to 2-a-days and putting on full pads and running around in 110-degree weather for 6 hours a day plus lifting weights. It's like you have to become obsessed with it or else you're going to get to the wayside.
One of the things that you've done in your life is being a private chef. I don't know if you still do that or not, but what was your favorite part about being that?
Well, I love treating others, like I said, right? But also it did open a lot of doors because I got to meet some really like influential people. So, especially down in Austin, there's a big podcast and comedy scene these days. And so I've worked with those guys and gals. And that's been pretty awesome to like go into like, it's very motivational, because I have discipline, right? But, it's always good to get a little motivation. You got to have discipline. You can have all the motivation in the world, but if you don't have discipline, then what is it, right? But the motivational aspect of like walking into a $16 million home on Lake Travis in Austin and seeing a celebrity who's making millions of dollars and cooking for them, it's pretty rad. So yeah, I love that part. I mean, honestly, I know it's not necessarily ego either. It's just like, wow, I'm doing it, So I think that's pretty cool.
So if you go to your social, it's pretty impressive. Certainly the food side of what you do. I think one of your fans said, "When's the cookbook?" Mm-hmm. So when is the cookbook, Andy? Is anytime sooner? I mean, if you look at your stuff, it looks cookbook worthy for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think it's coming. It's coming along, but I'm also like writing a movie script. So, I'm working with some guys in Los Angeles, and I'm like hammering out a movie script, dude. So, I gotta kind of, I'm very ADHD, right? So I'm like severely, right? I've always had it my entire life and finally found help to like help me with it because it became like debilitating. And so, I go to therapy. I went to therapy today. That's why I zoom. I make sure that as hard as I work with others and the love and like everything that I give to others if you don't take care of yourself, then, and like think about the little things, the routines, the structure, talking to God, reading some scripture, meditating, stretching. You got to do those things, because if not, you're going to literally pile drive into the ground, and it's not going to end well. You're going to run yourself ragged. And so, I make sure I take care of myself. And, it's just very important to me, because I've been in a bad place, like mentally, I've had suicidal thoughts in the past, and it's not cool. It's terrible, but it's also, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel that way. It's just lean on others, lean on God, and then take care of yourself. Those are the biggest things, I think, for me. Yeah.
So Andy, if somebody's watching you right now and they're dealing with that, what do you tell them?
You're loved, God loves you, your family loves you. Even if they don't, somebody loves you, and you need to love yourself. That's really the biggest thing. And you gotta lean on, you gotta lean on your faith, and you gotta lean on the fact that you are worthy and you are loved. That's the biggest thing, dude.
Is it hard to love yourself sometimes?
Not as much anymore. I do love myself. I give myself a hug.
But in general, do you think people have a hard time loving themselves? I think they do.
I think so.
I think we're our hardest on ourselves. I think the person that we give the least amount of slack to is the one that we look in the mirror. Yeah. The one that we don't give any grace to is the one we live with. Other people in our lives we give grace to, exceptions, forgiving, all that. But when we look at ourselves, we're staunch rebels against our own self.
Yeah, I had to have a conversation with a client today, because the poor guy is an exceptional basketball player, incredible. He's so gifted. He works so hard. He's polite. He's God-fearing. He's got a great family. And he was all geared up for today's workout, and then he got in a car accident yesterday with his brother. And his brother's a great guy too, handsome, big dude, strong. And I mean, he came in and he was limping. I was like, "What'd you do?" And then he shows me a picture, and his car was totaled, and he got hit, from somebody running a red light. And I had to I knew that he was like mentally broken at that point. And so we like completely changed the workout, obviously, but that wasn't really the point of why I kept him there. First of all, shouts out to like him getting there, right? But also it was like, man, give yourself some grace. I don't think we do that enough. And I don't know why I had to hear that like over and over again. Maybe it was just, I did have incredible parents, but, my dad was really hard on me. And, and then the TCU coaches were really hard on me. So I always was like the best in baseball, the best in football, the fastest, the strongest, Mr. Pascal, Mr. that, Mr. what. And I always like put so much expectation on myself. So I had to learn to like give myself grace and realize that like, hey man, like, it's okay to like not be the best all the time, or like, like as long as you treat others as you would like to be treated. And that's like my number one thing from the Bible, dude. And I know it's like, it's as old as time, but it is so real. Just treat others as you would like to be treated, and then have like radical acceptance. Like being able to understand that like, yeah, that was pretty crummy the way that person treated me. I'm going to go ahead and eat that and accept it and understand that maybe that was not their point, or maybe that's just who they are, and being able to move forward. Or, yeah, I made mistakes. dude, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not trying to hide that, bro. But I've learned to radically acceptance, like really just be like, you know what? Because radical acceptance, if you do that, it's like, because if you don't do that, you're trying to beat down reality. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Right? You're trying to fight reality. And it's like, dude, this is what happened. Like, so take a deep breath, realize that that's what it is, and be mindful, and then like continue to move forward.
I think one of the things you probably deal with in your line of work is seeing people on the outside that have it together. They're physically fit, they look good, they're tan, they've got nice clothes, but on the inside, they're hurt, they're depressed, they're overwhelmed, they self-loathing.
Yeah.
What do you say to that situation where, and you probably in fitness, I'm sure I know I've taught school for so many years and saw athletic young men, and maybe some athletic girls too, but athletic young men, the outside, they're super fit. But on the inside, they're scared as hell.
Yeah.
And what do you say to them?
Be honest with yourself. Like, talk to your family. Like, lean on others. You can talk to me. I do. I do. I say I'm very vulnerable and empathetic with my clients and stuff. And I'm like, hey, look, you can always talk to me. Okay. I've been through it all. I've seen it all. I mean, I really have, dude. I've lived a crazy life. And I'm just like, hey, you can talk to me. So I try to open up to him. And I did have a client the other day who, you know, she's very soft-spoken and, you know, things like that. And I'm always just like motivating her and like being all about her and like just charging her up and having fun with her and trying to make her laugh, you know, making it light, you know. And last night she like opened up and started talking about her depression and her anxiety and her ADHD. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. You know what I mean? I was literally like, thank you so much. You know, and then I would come back and say, hey, like, I deal with some of that as well. I've been there. I understand what you're feeling. I know. So you can always talk to me about this stuff. But you're doing awesome tonight. You're kicking butt. You're super strong tonight. You look great. You know, and like just building them up. And I think it's like, that's why it's so fulfilling and rewarding, man. Honest to God, it's so cool. I love it. It's great.
One of the things you say, and I've heard you, it was on a video and I tried to find it, but you said it to Armando, the guy that owns the gym as well. Something about today's a day to change a life, or I can't remember, what do you holler out? One of your catchphrases that it's something along those lines. It was something along those lines, Andy. Like, I think Armando said something to you. And
I say some pretty cool stuff. I mean, I think a big part of like what I do, not only in the kitchen, but also, you know, obviously with working out and being a trainer is like continued education. It's like I talked about mastering your craft, right? Like if you're not like continuing to learn and evolve and adapt and things like that and be coachable, you know, then, I mean, you're going to stunt your growth essentially mentally. So that's why I go to therapy every week. That's why I listen to Armando, even if I don't totally agree with some of the stuff, you know, because we have different ways of doing things. But he's also, you know, I was on television working for Michael Irvin and cooking for big time people and yada, yada, right? And he was like a kinesiology major. I was a broadcast journalism major. And yes, I grew up in the gym because my father runs the Fort Worth City Club, but he's got more like scientific knowledge than I do. So yeah, I listen to him and I hear him out and we agree to disagree. I'll be like, no, dude, this is not the workout that they needed today. I needed to kick his butt. Like this kid he's like, you can't always do, you know, fast twitch and this and that and strength. I'm like, he's like, do some squats. I'm like, no, he came in all sleepy headed. These kids come in sometimes. I'm like, no, let's go. We're gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna make you run all day, son. So we have different mentalities, but that doesn't mean that we don't respect the heck out of each other, and we both listen to one another. It's a really great working relationship. It's pretty rad.
Just as long as you don't make me do those sled pulls. I saw your video the other day when you did sled.
Those. You're gonna do those next time you're
in.
Andy. Yeah, you're doing those. Yeah.
Just go ahead and punch me. No, I think I remember what it was. He was like, it's another day to change a life, or another day to impact a life, or something like that. So I can't remember what you were hollering out, but I've heard you say it a couple of times.
Well, it's like the gym is a metaphor for life. Like it's not just about lifting weights and like killing yourself and like doing like, conditioning like crazy. It's more about like, if you give up on a rep, or if you, decide not to show up, well, that could translate into life when you have a meeting and you don't show up for it, or you're late. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is to be forgotten. So if you are disciplined and you show up to the gym and you hit your reps and you do your stuff, it's going to translate into your life, in relationships, in work, whatever it is.
You said that you were a Division I athlete, TCU, and you work with them. What was that time of your life like? What was it, a hard, difficult time, or what do you remember from it?
I mean, it was amazing. It was fun. We won. I was a part of 4 bowl wins. So each bowl we went to, we won. We won at the time more games than any team in TCU history in 4-year span. So, we ended up my senior year number 7 in the country. We should have probably played for a national championship, but kind of got rigged on that deal, but whatever. But I think the biggest thing I took away from that is like, first of all, like, where to be, when to be, how to be, like, like learning time management. Cause, I was in classes, I was doing broadcasts. So I was making, I did stories and stuff, and I was on TCU TV or whatever, and, I think like, it was also really hard on me. Cause, I was, they rode me hard, and and I get why they did it now, right? Like, I have a great relationship with Gary Patterson. He's awesome. We go and get coffee and donuts and stuff sometimes. He's out in LA now, but great dude. But like at the time, I mean, he's brutal. I mean, I would see him down the hallway walking through the locker room or whatever, like, up in the offices, and I'd be like, nope, not today. I'd walk away. Like, I mean, the guy was hardcore. He was like the last of the real ones, dude, like of being like a super hard ass. So, I mean, but I learned discipline, and I learned about friendships, dude. That was pretty rad. I mean, I literally went to my buddy's bachelor party out in Arizona and played golf, and it was like 15 guys all played ball at TCU, stayed at this big mansion. It was incredible. And I went to his wedding. It's like you have lifelong friendships that are just different, because we literally were like sweating and grinding and bleeding and crying and laughing together, dude. It was pretty incredible. So also taught me how to like work hard and learn tons of awesome workouts and, all that good stuff. Kept me in shape. Also, like, it was kind of cool being like, on the team. You know what I'm saying? So I got some chicks. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I dated Miss Texas and Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Lord, so Andy.
Yeah, it was cool.
So you mentioned it twice. Once about your dad being hard on you, and then in the coaching staff.
Yeah.
What do you say to that young man that might see this clip of you that's in that place where his dad or mom is hard on him, coaches are hard on him, and he feels the pressure of that? What do you say to him?
That's a great question. Dang, dude. Keep your head down, keep grinding. It's coming from a good place. That's what I would say. It is. In the moment, it doesn't seem like that. You know, it seems like, why are they being so bad to me? Why are they gritting their teeth? Why are they yelling at me? You know, but it's coming from a place of like, I want you to get better. I know your potential and I want you to get better. I know that's what it was. I mean, God, my, friendship with my father is the number one friendship I have. So, and then look at Patterson. I mean, he was awful to me. He used to grab my face mask and spit in my face. I'll send you back to Division II, But then now we have like an awesome friendship, and we text and meet up and have coffee. So, I mean, I would just say that you should understand it's whether or not it seems like it is coming from a place of love.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
That I think that people see things in us sometimes that we don't see in ourselves, and that love propels them to push. Mm-hmm. Sounds like similar what you do when you're training people. You see something in them that they don't see in themselves maybe, but it's evident to you, and so you push.
Yep.
Part of your career was sportscasting, and one of the clips I saw that you, in an early age, had that in your heart to do. So, what was that time of your life like? Where did that passion come from?
Yeah.
What was all that about? And I don't know. Do you still do it? I guess, or
no, I haven't done it in several years. I won an Emmy Award. I was in Lafayette, Louisiana. I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I was in Southwest Florida. So I interviewed Kobe. I got to cover the Grizzlies. I covered SEC football, LSU in the national championship, Phil Mickelson, literally, it was incredible. Covered a couple of great NBA players while they were in high school, and now they're, making $180 million, right? Like, I love telling stories, so it was always in me. Because I don't know, from a young age, I told my parents, I'm like, I'm going to be the next Bob Costas. And like, why I wasn't that, I don't know. I grew up loving the Atlanta Braves because they were always on TNT and TBS because of Ted Turner. And they were really good. And they were like clean cut. It was like David Justice, Terry Pendleton, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux. I could go on, but they always played the Phillies, who were a bunch of guys with mullets and like chew in their mouth, and I was like, I hate you guys, But like I can remember sneaking out of my bedroom after I was put to bed and like creeping down the hallway to see the end of the game and like watching it from the corner, and my dad would like write notes in my lunch boxes and be like, Chipper Jones wins the game, bottom of the ninth. Walk off double, so
that's pretty cool. Really
cool. Great memory. So, it was always in me. I've always been a storyteller, and I've always been very enthusiastic and, high energy. So, and I've always known sports, so my dad was a track star, and, my mom was a runner. She's still a big walker, so very healthy, they stay very healthy. And so, and then I guess I manifested it, really. I did. I did. I wanted to do it from the time that I can remember, and I did it. I went to Bob Schieffer School of Journalism, played football at TCU, and then boom, took that and went and worked for Irvin, and then, got on television in Lafayette. So...
If you were personal assistant to Michael Irvin, I don't know how many years, but
it's crazy too.
The
longest assistant he had before me was 4 months.
Oh, whoa.
He's very demanding. Yeah.
If he could say one thing about Andy Burrell, what would he say?
Passionate.
Why passionate?
Because I worked my butt off for him, and he knows that I cared about him and his family. I took care of his family, and I took care of him, and I went out of my way to do the extra, and I was also resilient. So passionate, resilient, probably hilarious. We had a lot of laughs, man. We got to be like brothers, at the end. So, and we still talk to this day. He was the hardest working guy I've ever seen in my life.
I bet.
I'm telling you, brother. And he holds court everywhere he goes. He literally is just like, hey, listen, let me tell you something. And he's like, no, listen, hey, everybody get around here, right? Listen, I'm going to tell you. Because the first time he called, because I hustled to get that job.
I like this story. I remember seeing this on another podcast. I was hoping you would tell it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So essentially, this was 2009. So I was doing like a blog. I had a blog. See, so I was hustling. I was and I was working at Joe T. Garcia's in North Fort Worth, Stockyards. And I'm doing the blog, right? And I'm doing all this stuff. And I did like a few radio like appearances for this lady that used to work at TCU. And I was just talking TCU football or whatever, right? And she's like, oh, well, Michael Irvin is on Dancing with the Stars, and he needs an assistant. He's like overwhelmed right now. And another one quit. And I was like, dude, I'll do it. So she kind of put the word out there. And then I was at Joe T's, and my buddy runs up, another waiter. And, you make great money at Joe T's. And I would work there in the summers during TCU football. But I was like, okay, well, I need to make money. So I was there. And my buddy runs up and he's like, Randy Galloway is up front. You got to go holler at him. Randy Galloway, longtime Fort Worth Star-Telegram sports writer, just a legend, icon. And I ran up there and I said, Mr. Galloway, how you doing, sir? Andy Burrell. I'm trying to get on television. And he was like, hell, I can't get you on TV. That's too hard. And then I was like, well, Michael Irvin's looking for an assistant. He's like, hell, I work with Michael Irvin every day. And because they were on ESPN radio together. And he's like, I'll tell him to call you. Sure enough, dude, BlackBerry, right? I'm at Mi Casino, and I get an unavailable number, a private number or whatever. And I was like, no. And I get a voicemail and it's like, hello, Andy. This is Michael Irvin. I'm calling about the assistant's job. Call me back. And I'm like, how am I going to call you back, dude? I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind because he didn't leave a number and it was private. So for like, I don't even know how long, 2 weeks, I guess, I was just like answering every call. I'd freak out every time it buzzed. And finally he called me on my way home from Joe T's at like midnight. And he was like, yeah, come out here. And he asked me to go out to Dallas and meet him at the studio, right? ESPN Radio in Las Colinas. Wow. And I was like, all right, so it's pouring rain. He's not answering. I've called this dude like 30 times. And I called Coach Patterson, actually, and I was like, should I even be doing this? He's like, yes, go for it. Like, go. And I ended up calling through to ESPN. I kept driving, called through to ESPN, somehow got in touch with them. They're like, yeah, they're on remote. Like, they were at it was like an electronics store or something in Dallas. And I showed up, and I'm in a suit. I've got my briefcase. I was just such a nerd. I didn't know what I was doing.
You were ready.
I was ready, Freddie. Dude, I was ready. And like 5 minutes before the show, Irvin walks in. He's like, he's got his shades on, and I'm standing there with like a briefcase or whatever it was and a full suit. And I was like, hello, Mr. Irvin. I'm Andy Burrell. And he's like, where have you been? I've been trying to call you all morning. I'm like, I've got 30 calls to you and 0 back from you. Anyway, he ends up giving me like a $25,000 check from Walt Disney and a $30,000 check from somewhere else and tells me to take it to some random Chase Bank. I literally like printed out MapQuest because this is 2009, right? There's no
MapQuest. You got
yeah, and he tells me to get in his Range Rover. And his license plate said Global. And I like call, and his Warren G is playing when I get in, like Regulators. And I'm like calling my boys. I'm like, dude, I'm in Irvin's Range Rover listening to Warren G. His license plate says Global. I went and took it, and then I had to take his clothes to the dry cleaners, dude. This is all in like this short of a span. This is how insane this job was, dude. There were stories for days, bro. But anyway, I went to the dry cleaners and I dropped off all his laundry or whatever because he had it just everywhere. I mean, he's very ADHD and, you know, he may have some other stuff going on, right? So he's very scatterbrained. He also takes care of a lot of people and he works like crazy hours. Anyway, I walk up and it was a couple of gay guys at the laundromat or whatever, you know, the dry cleaners, and they're like, "Oh, you're the new one?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, what is happening?" And then I went to his house, huge mansion out in North Dallas, and had to pack everything in his Louis Vuitton. And then I show back up, and he jumps in the town car and he's like, "I'm going to Los Angeles. I'll call you when I get back." And I'm like, "Well, I have your car and here's my truck." And this is like pre-Uber. I was like, "What?" So yeah. And then about a week later, he called me and he moved me out to North Dallas, and the rest was history. And then it was crazy. I mean, NFL drafts, like Super Bowls, you know, everything. It was pretty cool.
Andy, at a young age, you've had a lot of adventures, and not to mention Netflix Easy Bake Battle Season 1.
Yeah, that was fun.
So how did that come about? And
yeah, dude, isn't that something?
It's pretty crazy. Wild.
Yeah, so like I guess during COVID, I had been posting like photos of my food and everything, and I'm like, well, gosh, I've been on television forever. I love to be on camera. I guess I'll start making videos. So I started making videos during COVID because I didn't have anything else to do. I was like working at a shoe store, Fleet Feet, you know, and like learning about running and just running a lot and like whatever, making a tiny check or whatever, just trying to stay busy or do something, right? And somebody from Netflix DM'd me on Instagram and they were like, "Hey, this and that." And then it was like a 4 to 6 month process. I don't know what it was. It was a lot. They like made me like cook different food and like send them all this stuff, and like it was a lot.
Forgive me for not watching it, but how did you do in the battle?
I should have won, bro. Yeah, dude. I was okay. So all right, here's the breakdown. It's episode 1, Easy Bake Battle. Check it out. Anyway, I wasn't in a great place at that time, to be honest with you. I was in a bad relationship. I was going through some stuff, you know, but I pushed through. And I was on episode 1, and it was called Midnight Munchies. And I'm like, I've got this in the bag. So there's this massive kitchen, and I'm like, they're like, okay, you get 3 minutes to like walk around and just like check it out. And I was like, oh, sous vide? Never used one in my life. I'm like, maybe that would be sick. I mean, it was like very overwhelming. And then I was on there with a young lady who I'm still friends with. She's great, but she had twins in her belly and a baby at home. And then the other guy was like, you know, ex-Marine who worked in DC and had a child as well. And then there's me, the Bachelor in Austin, Andy B. And they're like, Midnight Munchies. I'm like, done deal. So I cooked Philly cheesesteak, egg rolls, and dipped them in, and had Texas spicy queso. And Kristen Kish, who's top chef, right? She said it was the best queso she's ever had. I was like, what? So I was like, this is it. It's a wrap. But no, I think it was all rigged. It was funny because the next morning in the van, when I'm like with the producer and she's in the front, and it's like COVID, so there was like a mask, like, or, you know, like a plastic thing. And I was just dying laughing. I was like, you know, this is rigged, right? And she just kept laughing and laughing. But like, you know, it was a family show. I don't know. They had something that they wanted. But either way, it was incredible. Like, I would totally do it again. The next time I would be way more prepared. I'm in a better place. And like, I would love to do it. I just don't know if it'll happen again. And I'm not like really stressing on like doing it again, you know? For a little bit, I tried to like audition for some stuff, and I was trying to get on, like, I was asked to be on like The Bachelorette and stuff like that, and I'm like, that's not really up my alley. It doesn't seem like that's not really my values, I guess I should say. You know, I don't want to like go and like kiss some lady that's going to kiss 1,000 other guys and like, you know, or like put myself out there like that. That's just really not, that's not my values are like God, family, health, you know, honesty. Those are my core values. So I stick to those.
One of the things that you say about fitness is that it makes you strong emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I think that means like essentially like it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier with, you know, being able to use gym as a metaphor for life. So it makes you strong emotionally because if you don't get that 10th rep, you know, how are you going to feel about yourself? Or, you know, just showing up and walking through the door is a win, you know, because then you're going to see a smiling face. You're going to see a community, familiar people, right? And it's accountability and it's discipline. And I think it just makes you stronger within, not only because of that stuff, but also, I mean, let's be honest, like, look, you're jacked, dude. Like, I see you working out. Like, you're strong. What does that do for you, man? What does it do?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
It's mental, 100%.
Yeah.
So I can tell when I don't lift or I don't do that you get mentally fatigued. You get to a place where stuff affects you easily. I get angry easily.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you get frustrated.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
It's also mental clarity, right? It clears the brain of the fog, and it also helps you just like I said, resiliency, like being able to push through and do something, even if you don't want to be doing it, is like pretty tough.
I've seen this before, Andy, with people that either have done physical stuff like training or whatever, and then like art stuff like theater, and they've been pushed to their limits. And I've seen in both of those instances them break down emotionally, like get upset at the end of it. And I tie it back to two things. One, they didn't think that they could do it. And when they accomplished it, that extra rep, that reading that part that puts you in a different place, character-wise, they didn't ever see themselves being able to do that.
Yeah.
So when they pushed through and they did it,
it's like, whoa.
It's a breakthrough. It's an emotional, you know, something parted emotionally.
Yeah.
And I've seen it many, many times where they try that, and then when they're able to do it, and you probably certainly when you've been pushing people, that something emotionally happens when you do something that you didn't think you could. I think that follows life. When you do stuff just on your career-wise or skill-wise that you didn't think that you could.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I guess that's why I've had success in life is because I've always believed in myself. Even when others didn't, I've always just bought in and just been like, I can do this. Let's go. Like, you know, and also, you know, that also just to kind of like segue, but like that also is, you know, my faith and like talking to God and like knowing that he's got my back and he's always there. I mean, like I told you, my mom and dad are my best friends and my girl, she's amazing. But like God is always there. You know what I'm saying? He's always there. I can always talk to him no matter what. He doesn't not answer the phone. He doesn't not text back. I can just talk to him, you know? And that's been like huge for me in my life. You know, and I've gone in and out of it, right? Like there have been times where I just was like, man, this is bull. I'm frustrated, and why would he do this to, you know, you get like that sometimes. I think if you haven't been like that, you're not being honest with yourself, you know, and like those are the moments where, okay, take that moment, but come right back to it because he's going to be there, you know, and maybe, you know, he's always got a plan, whatever it is. And you may sit there and get so frustrated about it and be like, gosh, why would he do this to me? Why, you know? Well, it's part of the plan. And you just gotta get in there. You gotta climb in and just understand that it's a maturation process, and you gotta get better. And like, whatever it is, he's doing it. Like, it's part of the plan.
So what do you say to that person that you say, I talked to him, that person that says, I don't know what to say to him, and then I think he's mad at me? What do you say to him?
First of all, he's not mad at you, right? Definitely not. He wants the best for you. And like, even when it seems like your back's against the wall, or something terrible happens, or there's a death in the family, or you lose somebody you love, whatever it is, it's not that he's against you. It's just that he's testing you, you know? And so you just got to continue to believe, and he's your best friend. Like, he's always there. That's the biggest thing, honestly. It's like, you can always, I mean, that's part of my morning routine when I do God, I'm so sore lately, but I've been doing, there's this thing that I learned in high school, like, because I was like an all-state pitcher, and I used to have to milk my arm. So I get the hot water, and I'm like milking my knees. But that's when I talk to him, is when I'm in a hot shower at 3:30 a.m., you know, and I'm just talking to him and just telling him, I really just talk to him. I say, you know, thank you for waking me up. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my nephew. You know, I'm grateful for Paige. I'm grateful to have I like to say it out loud. I do affirmations every morning. They'll be corny too. I'll be like, oh, I'm so grateful for these cold ass sheets. You know, I'll be just like, whatever. I'm great. You know, it's like, I'm grateful for my plant. You know, whatever it is. I think that saying it out loud is pretty powerful. And I don't like looking at my phone for the first 30 minutes of the day. I don't care what time I wake up. And I say my affirmations, pray to God, try to do my routine, you know, and then I'll get the phone. But like, when you do those affirmations in the morning, at least for me, okay, and I do think it is real, then if you get the phone and somebody's, you know, you get a nasty email or text, or your boss is blowing you up or whatever, makes it a little easier to just like let that slide off your back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big believer in talking out loud, praying out loud, and like, you know, not looking at the phone first thing. Because if you look at the phone first thing, you start doom scrolling or whatever they call it, you know, and you're going down Instagram, and it's easy to do. Phone's right there, right? But if you don't do that, then that's not a habit that you'll set for the entire day, because all of a sudden now it's like, oh, I got to go back, you know? So I'm all about content. I love it. You know, I love doing this stuff. There's no doubt, but I don't let it consume me, because I've let that happen before, and it wasn't healthy at all, you know?
Before I let you go, I want you to talk a couple of things. One is in something that I saw recently from you, that the last 3 years was unexpected. What can you share? Or can you say what the season was like?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, seasons, right? Isn't that interesting?
3 years. Yeah.
Very. It's just like, you know, I'm 40, you know, and like I've been through a lot of seasons, baby. You know, it's like, so. Yeah, I guess the last 3 years, I mean, I got thrown some curveballs with, you know, 2 relationships, you know, and, you know, I've always been like, oh man, I want a family. I'd be an awesome father. I want to coach and teach, you know, a young girl or a young man, like, you know, got killer genes, baby. Like, you know, I would love to have kids, but it just, you know, it hasn't happened for whatever reason, and that's okay too. But I guess, you know, it was just a lot. And then, you know, I got laid off from a job on doing tech sales. So like I've been through the ringer, dude. Like, you know, and then, you know, I found a girl, and then I started doing the personal training down in Austin, and then I picked up some massive clients doing the chef thing down in Austin. So then it like just came back around. And that's the thing is like, that's why you can't give up on yourself, dude. Yeah. You know, you just got to like keep your head down and keep grinding, because it will change. As long as you're positive, optimistic, you treat others as you would like to be treated, and you bring energy and joy to your life, then good things will happen eventually. Even if they are crumb right now, then they will spin around. Just keep going.
You said this recently, sit in the uncomfortable and grow through it.
Yeah. I love that.
That's powerful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right?
Because I don't think a lot of people know what to do with the uncomfortable. We try to get out of it as quick as we can. We try to get out of stuff that's painful, stuff that's not pleasant to go through, stuff that's hard. And when we try to get out of it, I think we prolong the process. I heard this recently that just has resonated with me. I grew in life during seasons I probably would have skipped if I could. Oh
yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. That's pretty awesome. I love that.
But we all look back at it, and I think that's the hard part of maybe going through a season right now. If you look back at the seasons that you went through that weren't easy, you can point to everything. I grew stronger in my faith.
Yeah,
I grew stronger physically, emotionally, mentally. I relied on the Lord way more than I did. And I think that's part of the trap of having everything easy sometimes, as we forget where our trust is and who's the one that's making it all happen for us.
Ooh.
So,
man, that's cold. I love that.
Well, it's been an amazing having you on the show.
Dude, thank you.
And I am serious when I say your life is full of joy. And I think if somebody asked me one word about Andy, I'd say joy. And let me take it a step further. There's a lot of people out there that don't have joy, and they're waiting for an Andy Burrell to come in their life and push them and say, you can make this.
Yeah.
You can get through this. I went through something difficult. Yeah. One more rep, one more damn sled pull or push.
Next time you're in there, I'm going to have you do those reverse. I'm going to have you do those reverse things.
What was that weapon of torture that you made up there? The reverse bear crawl, pulling that sled.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's awesome though.
Oh gosh,
yeah. It'll get you going. Get that heart rate up, baby.
Quite honestly, my first workout at Reps Gym was about 1.5 years ago, and I had double knee replacement a couple of years ago, and so just coming out all that, even though I liked fitness, and I almost passed out the first workout. Man. I mean, they're trying to slap me around or whatever, give me juice or whatever. It's like, you okay? You okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just not used to pushing. So there was my first, at the gym was like, they're thinking I'm some old man that they're going to slap to revive.
Dude, oh God. Yeah. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm CPR certified, but I'm not trying to do it today. So please breathe.
Well, Andy, we're going to pray here in a second. Cool. And would you like to pray? Would you like to lead us in prayer? And I don't mind if you.
Yeah, that'd be great. I
would love you for you too, but just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
And make this prayer for somebody out there. And I always envision certainly someone like you that's been through fitness, is still in it. You know what it's like. That some young man that might catch this show who his life is undone on the inside. Outwardly, they may have it all together, but inside their heart's hurting.
Okay.
And I want you to lead them in prayer and let's give them some hope through coming before the Lord. So go ahead and lead us.
That's beautiful. Lord, we're very grateful for everything that you do for us. We're grateful for our health, our families, our love for one another. Lord, we ask you that you continue to bless us with all the good things that you give us on a everyday basis. Okay. Thank you for bringing me here in this moment and introducing me to Jonathan and being here in this moment. It's been very special and I'm very grateful for it. Lord, I ask that you look over those who are weary or who are guilt-ridden or who are hurting inside and bless them with all of your love and rain down on them. Lord, we ask that you take care of us and gift us with your presence, keep us safe over the weekend, and we're just so grateful for everything that you do. Amen.
Amen. Andy, thank you again for being a part of this. I knew this was going to be an amazing show. I just didn't know how good it was going to be. So thank you for sharing your life, for sharing your joy, for your passion.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate it, man.
Keep going. People need you, and I don't mean that in a way that they're hanging on a limb.
Right.
But we need more joy in this world. It's called Take Back Your Joy.
I know it is.
So we need more of it. So keep on spreading it out there.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll put in the show notes all the ways to find Andy online, and he's a fun person to follow. So go take back your joy. If you learned anything from us today, know that you are meant to live in joy, that in his presence is fullness of joy. So go take it back. We'll see you next episode.